All right, welcome to our final explainer on tackling that mysterious, frustrating buzz, radio frequency interference. You've checked all your chargers, you've swapped out the cables, but that noise just won't quit. So today, we're talking about that final step. What do you do when you've tried absolutely everything else and it's time to call for backup?
So, welcome to Part 10. This is it, the final chapter in our RFI detective training. Now, this whole series has been based on an amazing, super comprehensive report from the folks at RFI Detectives, a part of Virtualization Options LLC. And today, we're going to focus on that crucial last step, when, and just as important, how to call in the pros.
So you've done all the detective work inside. You've hunted down those noisy power supplies, you've unplugged every suspicious device you can find, but the static and interference are still there. This is that moment where your investigation has to expand. It's time to really consider that the source of the problem isn't inside your home at all. It might be coming from outside your walls. But before you pick up the phone to call the power company or, have that awkward chat with a neighbor, you need one last key piece of evidence. You got to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that none of your own stuff is the culprit. And luckily for us, there's one definitive test you can do that'll give you a crystal clear answer. This right here, this is the ultimate test. It's so simple. With your entire home's power shut off at the main breaker, you just listen to your little battery-powered AM radio. If that annoying buzz or crackle is still coming through the speaker, congratulations. You've just proven the interference is coming from an external source. Your detective work inside is officially done.
Okay, so now you have some solid evidence, right? You know it's pointing to an outside source. Your very first call should be to your local utility provider. And remember, this isn't about complaining. It's about reporting a potential issue on their equipment that they really need to know about.
And here's why they actually listen. That crackle you're hearing on your radio, well, it could literally be the sound of an arcing or failing piece of equipment on a nearby utility pole. So for the power company, this isn't just an annoyance for you, it's a potential safety hazard. It's a sign of failing equipment that they are absolutely responsible for investigating and fixing. Being prepared for this call is a total game changer. It transforms you from just someone with a vague complaint into a valuable source of intel. When you can describe the exact sound, tell them when it happens, and, most importantly, confirm that it's still there when your main breaker is off, you give their technical teams everything they need to start a real, effective investigation.
But what if the source isn't the power lines? Sometimes that trail of interference leads right next door. Yep, a neighbor's brand new plasma TV, a faulty pool pump, or even just a cheap phone charger could be the thing flooding your home with all that radio noise.
It's so important to remember this. Your neighbor almost certainly has no idea that one of their devices is causing you problems. From their side of the fence, everything's working just fine. That's why starting with an accusation is going to get you absolutely nowhere. But starting with a little bit of friendly information, that can solve everything.
This whole approach turns a potentially really awkward situation into more of a collaborative problem-solving thing. By explaining what you've already done, you're showing them you're not just pointing fingers. A simple request like, hey, would you mind if we briefly unplug your new garden lights just to see if it fixes my radio static, is usually all it takes to get them on board. So let's kind of pull back and see how all of this builds into a complete strategy. We've gone from just listening to static on a radio to calling in professionals, and it all fits together into this clear, repeatable process.
This four-step process is basically the master key. It sums up everything we've learned across this entire series. You now know how to understand what you're hearing, how to detect the source inside your home, how to suppress it with some simple tools, and finally, when to escalate the issue effectively. This is your complete playbook for getting that electromagnetic piece back in your home.
So there you have it. You are no longer at the mercy of some mysterious buzz or static. You have the knowledge and the method to systematically find the source and get it fixed. The only question left is, what's your first case going to be?
Congratulations on completing your RFI detective training. And a huge thanks to RFI Detectives for the report that made this entire series possible. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we really hope you enjoy the newfound quiet.